You have studied for weeks. You know the technical material inside and out. But there's a hidden layer to certification exams that has nothing to do with technical knowledge. It is a layer of strategy, psychology, and simple errors that trip up even the most prepared candidates. Today, I am revealing the critical mistakes that can derail your entire exam, mistakes that are completely within your control to avoid. Stick around, because the first one is probably already on your study plan. Most experts fail here. Your certification hinges on one unseen trap. You are preparing for an exam that changes constantly. Using an outdated blueprint means you are studying a version of the test that no longer exists. The key insight is that what was critical 6 months ago might now be a minor footnote. This misalignment creates dangerous gaps in your knowledge right from the start. Here's the brutal reality: you are pouring energy into domains that barely matter on test day. The blueprint dictates the battlefield, and studying the wrong one means you are training for a ghost. You walk in prepared for yesterday's war. That mismatch is why so many promising candidates fall short before the first question even appears. The blueprint isn't a suggestion, it is the architect's exact plan for the exam. Every skill statement is a potential question. When you ignore this, you are memorizing trivia instead of mastering required performance. Your knowledge becomes broad but dangerously shallow where it counts. This foundational misalignment guarantees gaps in your armor on test day. Your smart mind is your biggest liability on this exam. Do you trust a memory trick over your own engineering judgment? That's the trap. Practice test answers are often obsolete, and test-specific wording, not the resilient design concepts the exam actually measures. You have trained for a real job, not a quiz. So, are you studying to recognize a question, or to solve a problem you've never seen before? This is the subtle trap that derails serious candidates. You are likely taking practice tests in a comfortable, controlled environment. What this means is, when the real pressure of a timed exam hits, your mind isn't prepared for that focused intensity. You've practiced the answers, but you haven't practiced the performance. That cognitive strain can undermine everything you know. The key insight is that your memory is being tricked. You recognize the correct letter, but you haven't internalized the underlying principle. So, when the exam rephrases that same concept in a new, stressful scenario, you draw a blank. You are memorizing outcomes instead of building the analytical reasoning the test is designed to measure. Most certified pros fail here, and do not even know why. Picture arriving at what you thought was the test center, only to find an empty office. Or your proctoring software fails minutes before the exam because your OS wasn't updated. That raw panic destroys your focus before a single question loads. You have already lost. This isn't about knowledge, it is about a preventable ambush on your own readiness. The panic begins when your connection drops during an identity check, and the proctor's timer keeps counting down. That technical failure isn't just an interruption, it consumes your mental runway for critical questions. The key insight is that exam day isn't about your skills alone. You must also architect a flawless environment, or you've surrendered to avoidable pressure before you even begin. Think of it as entering a secure data center. Without the exact credentials, you are left at the perimeter. The rules for what you can bring inside are absolute. What this means is failing to master this simple protocol does not just delay you, it invalidates your entire mission before it starts. Your expertise becomes irrelevant at the door. Certifications fail the smartest people on these 3 hidden errors. That initial question is a pressure test, not a knowledge test. The key insight is they intentionally place a complex scenario upfront. What this means is if you spiral here, you have already lost. The pattern clearly indicates they are measuring your composure under stress. Your entire exam strategy crumbles in those first few minutes if you do not control your reaction. You freeze. Your mind races through every possible solution except the obvious one to move on. That stubborn 15 minutes isn't just lost time, it's stolen confidence. You've surrendered your strategic rhythm before the exam even begins. The key insight is this: your decisive discipline in that first moment dictates your entire outcome. Protect your pace at all costs. But you do not have to lose the war on that first question. Flag it. That single click isn't giving up, it's a strategic retreat. You reclaim your focus and momentum, turning panic into a temporary pause. The entire rest of the exam is now yours to conquer on your own terms. Protect your psychology, and the technical answers will follow. Certification exams test the mistakes you do not even know you are making. This is the mistake that steals points from even the most prepared. You know the material, but you answer the question they did not ask. That one word, best, least, first, completely changes the context. Your brain sees a familiar pattern and autopilots to a technically correct, but strategically wrong, answer. You must become a forensic examiner of every single word. It's like being handed a detailed blueprint for a bridge, but you start building the skyscraper you assumed was needed. Your expertise works against you. The key insight is the exam isn't testing your knowledge of construction, it's testing your ability to follow the exact specification in front of you. Precision is everything, and assumption is your enemy. You are immediately drawn to the correct-looking answer. But the trap is that several options appear correct. The silent killer is failing to systematically destroy the ones that are provably, technically false. This forces a direct comparison between the remaining contenders against the question's precise wording. That exact wording is your only blueprint. Your gut is wrong, your process must be ruthless. That hidden error. It's not technical. It's procedural. This is a strategy failure. The lab task's final validation is your only true target. You might think partial progress earns points, but it rarely does. Without knowing that final state, you waste critical time solving the wrong problem. Your first action isn't to configure, it is to comprehend the entire scope of what success actually looks like. Think of it like starting a maze without knowing the exit. If you take a wrong turn early, you will run out of time trying to backtrack. The reset button is your escape hatch. Use it the moment you are uncertain. It lets you restart with clarity on that final, validated state, which is the only goal that counts. Here's the non-obvious trap: you think skipping a question saves time. But the scoring system counts a blank answer as completely wrong. The key insight is that an educated guess, even partially correct, always earns you some points. What this means is that leaving it blank is the only guaranteed way to surrender all possible credit. Never give the exam a free point. Your certification fails on errors you do not even know you are making. Right now, your memory is crystal clear. But in 1 hour, those tricky exam concepts begin to fade. Failing to capture them immediately is the real mistake, because that raw, post-test recall is the perfect blueprint for what you need to study next. Without it, you are left guessing and will likely repeat the exact same errors. This is the most valuable data point you will ever receive, and they just give it to you. That performance report is a direct map of your knowledge gaps. Ignoring it means you'll waste months studying everything again, instead of focusing on the precise domains that caused your failure. You are choosing to remain in the dark. That performance report isn't a judgment. It is an intelligence briefing on your knowledge. To dismiss it is to declare your ego matters more than your goal. The system just told you where to strike. The blunder is hearing that and choosing to attack everywhere, guaranteeing your next failure. This is a tactical gift. Use it. Certification success hinges on strategy and error avoidance as much as technical knowledge. Your approach to the exam environment, question analysis, and time management is non-negotiable. Identify which of these mistakes is your biggest risk and build your final week of prep around fixing it.